Thompson here, and I'm building a side blast forge. And I've always wanted to have a coal-fired or coke-fired forge. I have a gas-fired forge, but there are certain projects coming up where I really need a big open forge. And so I'm going to go ahead and build this side blast forge. You know, I did a fair amount of research, and I've chosen to kind of follow the Mark Aspery design. The starting point for me was to figure out how big the forge should be. I had some extra fire brick laying around. I put it all together, and I got, roughly 27 by 27. That dimension, this dimension, determined how I was going to build the table. So here's the table. Started off with these two rails cutting such that not only would I be able to fit the fire brick into this space, but I'd have enough space on the back end to support the water tank and the blower assembly. Then I took some 1.5 round 16 gauge tubing and I made a frame like that, both for the front and the back. I then welded them. I turned the table upside down and welded these frames, the leg frames, to the top. And then I just stiffened it up with a diagonal brace here. Here is the tweer and the water tank getting ready to be fabricated. So I made the tweer. This is a 5-inch pipe. I made 6 cuts, pie cuts, in it, in the tube, squished it down to 3 1/4. This is a piece of 1/2-inch plate, and I drilled a 1-inch hole in it with the mill. And then welded to this, going all the way out the back, is a piece of 1.5-inch round stainless steel tube. And it has an inner dimension of 1 1/4, which is what was recommended in the plans. So these are the kind of the front and the back. This is the side. There'll be another side here, obviously a bottom. On the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put in a drain. Here's the blower that I got from Blacksmith's Depot. I also purchased an air gate, so that controls the airflow there. But I had to transition from this 3-inch dimension down to the 1.5 inch. I happen to have a piece of 3-inch tube that fits very nicely in one side of the air gate. So that was my starting point. I selected that tube, found it in the shop, and cut it at, I think I cut this at about 7 inches. I made a series of cuts in this and then lowered it down. And I actually had a thick piece of 1.5 inch tubing that I used as a template here to make sure that when I fit it all up, that it would just nicely fit around there. So anyways, the whole assembly will kind of go together like this. And that kind of becomes my blower assembly. The only thing I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna work out some mechanism so that when I'm at the front of the forge, I can activate a lever and that will open and close the air gate. We've got a Heim joint here. We've made up this little bar, and this to here. We've got Bosch or the water tank in place. We've got this transitional element from the blast tube up to the blower. We have the air gate in place. We just finished this nice little linkage here. This will allow us to open and close the air gate from the front of the forge.
And then a little bit of a mound up in here.
How in the world are we going to light that? So this is the inaugural lighting of the side blast forge. Right. Gonna make a little tiny hook there. There's our little fire rake, the first project of the new side blast forge.